When you think of Banjo Tooie, you likely think of a beloved game that's fast-paced, exciting, and filled with fun jiggies to collect. And you'd be right. But then you got like this. Anyone who knows Banjo Tooie also knows Canary Mary. But if you don't know her, or somehow forgot about her, then let me introduce you to her. If you ask Banjo-Kazooie Wiki, Canary Mary is an avowedly insane canary. But if you ask me, she's just a little Truthfully, I do feel a bit bad for her. You first meet Canary Mary in Glitter Gulch Mine, where you learn she was once used by miners to check the mines for poisonous gas. After discovering she was slowly dying from the gas inside one of the caves of the mine, her masters abandoned her and left her there to die. Talk about pulling on the heartstrings, Rare. As Banjo and Kazooie, you get to free Canary Mary from the toxic cave. But if I had known back then what I know now, I might have left her there. Once you free Canary Mary, you're able to race her while in a minecart. First for a Jiggy, and then the second time for a Cheeto page. The races are essentially an infuriating button mashing minigame, but these races are far from the most infuriating. Upon beating Canary Mary a second time in Glitter Gulch Mine, she flies off, claiming that she'll soon fly high above the clouds. Fast forward several worlds later, and you'll find yourself in Cloud Cuckooland, where you meet Canary Mary once again and must race to win the truly most infuriating Jiggy in Banjo Tooie. And another race for a Cheeto page. And by the way, this isn't just my opinion. The Canary Mary races in Cloud Cuckooland has been regarded by many fans to be amongst the hardest challenges in the game. There's even videos and Reddit pages dedicated to helping players beat the challenge. And it's not just the fans. The developers are well aware of the monster they created. In Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, Canary Mary is directly referenced by Lord of Games in one of the loading screens, where he says, and I quote, "Remember Canary Mary? Did you have fun racing her? How I laughed when I was setting up those levels. I'm still laughing." So what makes the races in Cloud Cuckooland so infuriating? Well, besides it being another button mashing minigame, these races are also a lot harder than the first two races, as Canary Mary is much faster, and the course is much longer. Within the first few seconds of the race, Canary Mary is already much further ahead, and if you fall too far behind at any point, she'll quit and say she wins by default. These races also utilize a rubber band mechanic, where if you go ahead of Canary Mary, she will go ahead of you, no matter how fast it seems you're button mashing, assuming you're not cheating. Saying these races are infuriating is an understatement, and they are considered so hard that fans have had to come up with creative ways, some of which may even be considered cheating, to win. Especially on the Xbox 360 version, which is considered harder to win due to a lack of lag unlike the Nintendo 64 version. Some of these creative ways involve using a drill, like shown by YouTuber Freako, or other speed inducers like using a spoon to rub back and forth over the button, as successfully shown by YouTube poster Xification. Other strategies involve utilizing the pause feature constantly to trick the game into thinking you can mash inhumanly fast. A now deleted Reddit user posted instructions on how to utterly destroy Canary Mary on Cloud Cuckooland by simply button mashing as fast as you can for 7 to 12 presses, then immediately pausing so that your hand can recover, and then to repeat the process. I haven't tried this myself, but I think I'd rather use a spoon. Come on! Fortunately, you don't need to beat Canary Mary's races to beat Banjo Tooie, but for those who strive for 100% completion, there's no question this is one of, if not, the most infuriating Jiggy and Cheeto page to collect. Fun fact, the Canary Mary races are mentioned a second time in Nuts and Bolts, in the Glitter Gulch Mine exhibit in Banjoland, where it's revealed that the button configuration for the races were intended to be based on control stick rotation, but had to be changed because it began causing blisters on the palms of the beta testers. Had the developers actually done that, it would have been like playing a minigame straight from Mario Party 1, where people actually did get blisters. I guess if there's one good thing we can say about the Canary Mary races, is that we didn't walk away with blisters.